Welcome, world, to the latest edition of the Three Underrated Influencers, baby. Today, got not my normal, got me a co-host. I got a brand new co-host. I've been talking about him for a while on the show. Y'all been watching. Bring it to the stage for the first time ever in life, baby. Got BS, Brian Stevens. What's going on, son? How you doing? Good to have you.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Hey, just trying to get on this thing, express some things to the people out there, native of Atlanta, born and raised, been doing it on the west side or whatever.
Okay.
Recently going through a divorce, been married 26 years.
Wait. Oh, let me just stop you right there. He just hit me, he blindsided me with that. Whoa. That, I thought I was supposed to be on top of this stuff right here. Recently going through a divorce, are you serious?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the ex been separated now going on, 8 months?
8 months, man. You tell me we ain't bringing it to your hot and fresh that kosher therapy that you want, need, and desire, baby. It's the 300 Influencers. This is your host, baby, T-Lo with BS. We finna get right into it. I hope so. Wait a minute. So how long were you married?
26.
26 years.
Together, going on right under 30 years.
Wow. Now I've met this young man's wife and soon to be ex. I'm shocked. He hit me with the left hook right there. He hit me with it. But like I said, I've seen them in action. I'm like, they were good to go, but now I'm like, wow, what's really going on? So let's go and jump into it now. If you're a man of the world, share the story.
Hey man, basically, we met when both of us were young, of course. Got married, man. Actually, eloped and got married.
Okay.
Got married and, long road, but, it was one of those things where, we pretty much fell out of love and with each other. Still love each other and everything like that. But,
Okay.
just moving in two different directions, For a long time, I didn't understand what that meant when you heard other couples say, yeah, we're moving in different directions,
absolutely.
things like that. But, going through it myself, I said, okay, I understand it. And, best to part ways before things got bitter.
Oh, yeah. No turning back when you do
I would
stuff
say
like
fortunately, but unfortunately, we didn't have kids. So, the split was easier versus having kids and things like that, But, yeah, it's just one of those things just grew apart, man, I wish her the best,
Okay.
She wished me the best.
Well, that's good. So just ultimately what led to it, you just said basically I just fell out of love pretty much. So
Yeah.
Any infidelity over the years or just
on both parts.
Both parts.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And the thing about that is, a lot of people out there, under misconception that, oh yeah, you can be together 30, 40 years and there's no infidelity and things like that.
What do you tell those people?
That's some bullshit.
That's some straight BS.
Straight
BS. You heard it from the BS guy himself.
You know what I'm saying? It's not one of those things where you go out and, you try to cheat or you trying to be, go out on the outside. It's just, sometimes it's just some that thing that might happen. It's just like, with us as men, we can sleep with women and not catch feelings.
Yeah, it's a difference. It is
women
22.
They say the same, but
it's nonsense.
We know it.
It's not nonsense. I mean, maybe not off the top.
Yeah, not off the top, but for a woman to give herself to a man, she got to have some kind of feeling, some kind of bond to give herself to a man.
It means a lot. That's sacred. That sacred stuff that they're giving away.
And it was infidelity on both our parts, and when on her side of it, yeah, I could take a little bit of blame for that and say, hey, maybe I wasn't the romantic guy or the caring guy or anything like that anymore. And it's one thing about it that I always hear, this whole love language thing,
Oh,
and I hate to say the thing because
we've heard it. We've all heard it.
But the love language thing, that's when that women are into that. And it's one of those things where if you're slipping in one of those love languages that is hers and somebody comes along and
fulfill that
spot, she's more inclined to
You hit a good nail on the head with the love languages.
Yeah, so that's why I say it was kind of on my part too as well. But on my part of the infidelity side, I wouldn't call it a love language. I would call it more of a attention thing. One thing about men, we require
absolutely
attention. If they want to say that's the love language of ours, okay, cool.
That's a good one.
Most men, they just require attention. You show a man some attention, they ain't cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you stop showing that attention, then somebody else shows it.
It's so easy for another woman to swoop in and show your man a little bit of love that you haven't been showing.
Because I don't know if you know, but it's a shortage of men, especially straight men.
Oh my God! Especially in Atlanta. I mean, all over now, really.
Yeah, all over now. But but it's a shortage. But on the flip side of that, it's a shortage of quality women. It's not a shortage of women, but it's a shortage of quality women.
You gonna enlighten me a little bit on that?
I see we have one of your.
Okay. We got a small studio audience today, and we got somebody want to chime in.
Okay, so out of those 26 years, how did you guys come to the decision to not have kids?
Well, it wasn't a decision not to have kids. She had a problem having kids, and pretty much, I don't want to say the clock ran out, but pretty much that's how it went. And honestly, I was one of those people where I wasn't really pressed to have kids. It was one of those things of I have them, cool. If not, I'm cool. You know what I mean? So, and being that I'm the only child, I'm kind of selfish a little bit. So I want all the vibes. So, it could have went either way. But
did y'all ever think about adoption?
Yeah, we thought about adoption, and things like that. But like I say, with what was going on with us, things like that, we didn't want to adopt somebody into something that we have an outro. Because when you adopt a child already needs
they got a lot of
attention,
already.
that love and that care.
Good point.
If we sit here trying to get our love and care together,
we're gonna leave that child. Yes. So, I agree.
That's pretty much how that went.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let me get into let me touch on love languages a little bit too before we get into talking about something else. Love languages too. I've heard that too. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great point. And I feel like that the communication key is factor too, because that's why we incorporated check-ins on this show, going in and checking in with your mate and seeing where they are and being truthful and honest in those check-ins to see if you guys are on the same page, what needs to be done. And with that love language, they have to be shared. You have to give and take and be willing to, go all the way out and go all the way in on it if you want it to work. Because if you don't do that, then it's not going to work. So the love languages can work if you listen, communicate what you really want, and are able to go all the way in on it. I think it could work if you two are meant to be together and you really want to be together. Just wanted to touch on that. But I wanted to ask you too. You said your wife was also out there doing her thing. How did that make you feel? Because we kind of feel differently when the shoe's on the other foot.
Oh yeah. I'm saying a man is always going to be more hurt than a woman. For the simple fact, like, men have been cheating since the coming of time.
Yes.
And women have been taking those cheating men back.
Wow.
Since the beginning of time.
Yes.
And the reason why, because women can kind of, well, this is just I'm going to just say my experience. Women can kind of, I don't want to say move around their feelings, but they can prioritize their feelings. They can pretty much say, okay, because you hear it all the time. They say, yeah, I'm gonna take you back if you change this. So now they're putting that priority to the fixing of it versus the destruction of it.
Oh man, beautiful.
Beautifully
said. I like that.
So that's how they do. But men, when we get that news, we just going into destructive mode. Period.
Automatically.
You know what I mean? We don't want to hear it, because at the same time, men, I find a lot of men, when they find out their lady cheating, one of the first things coming in their head is what you did with them in the bed. You know what I mean?
They
They want to know. They want
better than me.
Yeah,
Better than me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then did you do that little thing with your
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy.
So
ooh,
when we look at it like
look at
it like that,
it hurts.
you know, it hurts us. You know what I mean? Like,
pride.
yeah, it hurts your pride. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know, but like prime example, like say if like with the days when you go through texts and DMs and all this, and let's just say you read in her DM, it might be something like, oh, let's just say some cliche like, oh, you'll have me looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight.
You know,
that
yeah.
Put it at that. You know what I mean? We'll be like, what the hell? Like, what did he do? Like this, that, and the other.
Yes.
But you know, you can flip that around and she'll read it. But she will get mad, she will get upset and maybe a little hurt. But she gonna downplay yours by saying that, what you mean like by that? Because I know you don't never do that shit when we together. So she gonna she'll flip it and turn it to where she taking body blows on you.
I've seen that.
You know what I mean?
You're exactly right now. You're exactly right.
So they do it in that sense.
They got naturally know how to manipulate that situation and make you feel like
so
shit.
that way, and so then they know when they make you feel like that, and you're still willing to stay with them.
Ooh, what they gonna do then?
You know what I mean? Now some will move forward, move on, and then y'all just be cool. But I would say 70% of the time, if that happens, she has lost that, I don't want to say all the respect for you, but she has lost enough respect for you that she knows exactly how to push your buttons. Now she knows how to keep you in line and things like that.
And that's an issue too, for a strong man that's normally strong, because now you gotta fold and bend.
But you know what? But this what makes a man stronger on that side of it. You can, behind closed doors, you can do the crying, the pleading, the begging, this and that. But you never let outside that door show what happened. And that's another problem that I feel that women have. They can't help but let somebody know outside that door what happened.
And once that happens,
because one thing about it, a man is more prideful than to go out and tell his buddy, hey man, she slept with Blase Blue. A woman can go to her woman friend. This one, cheated, this and that.
It is a two-way street on that.
But men, real strong men, real backbone men, we don't want nobody to know. We're going to take that to our grave.
You don't feel embarrassed. Yeah. Because you know your boy's going to get you. They're going to be
like the thing. Now, and that's the thing. And you know what? With that being said, like you said, with your boys going to get you. Now, your associates going to get you. Your boys ain't going to get you.
They're going to have you back.
Yeah, your boys going to have you back.
Really don't give a damn
because when you'll know who your boys are, because if you do confide in your boy, I guarantee you he'll have a story just like yours.
Wow.
Guaranteed. But he didn't want to tell you because he only had that going on. But when he found out somebody else had that going on, now he's gonna confide in you. Okay. And that's when you know you got a partner, when you got a homeboy.
Okay, cool.
So that's how you know. That's how you know who to keep.
That's how you know to keep in your life.
At your circle. At the end of the day, bro, your circle is very small. You have plenty of associates, but you don't have
your circle not that big.
No, sir. Not that big, bro. Not that big at all.
Great point. I want to touch on one other thing before we get into topic 2. Pose a question to you, babe. Yes. Check this out. Like, okay, look at here. You out dating. On a date with your lady. Y'all out with another couple. And this young lady of your friend, maybe I don't know if it's your friend or his friend or her friend or whatever, but the young lady that the other guy's dating, and you in a mood, you just doing some stuff, and she feel like it's doing some bitch shit in her eyes. And she just blurt out and say, you acting like a bitch to you. What would you do in that situation?
If she said, I'm acting like a bitch, I'm a homeboy.
Nah, like you first. Then we're gonna go to him too. I wanna know what you would think if she said that to you though. How would you feel? Would you care?
Well, see, now that's a tricky one for the simple fact. If it was me, I'm snapping on her in the beginning. That's just me. if it's me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But, you know, in most instances, sometimes you got to talk to your partner.
Okay.
And be like, hey, you know that
Once
once again, that's how you know who your partners and stuff are.
Exactly.
Because if he your partner, he checking that before you even say that.
Got
Before
to.
any more other words even
It
come.
got to be handled quickly,
You know
whatever
what I
you
mean?
do.
Because like I say, because when you do this, well, if that doesn't happen, there's 90% chance that there's gonna be a back and forth between the two females on how one just disrespected her man.
Yes. It can
So
go
now-
so many directions so fast.
Yeah, so and then you just got butt wild when this shit. It might just be some wig pulling and
It quickly. It can go left swiftly.
Yeah.
So what if it was you though? Your woman saw you acting up and she was like, "You stop acting like a bitch." What did you do in that situation?
Now my situation, I would pretty much say, okay, I'm acting like a bitch. Let's see how your bitch ass will get home. And I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm different. Ain't nothing else for me to say. Ain't nothing else
That's
for
it.
us to say. Because once your lady does that in public,
Mm-hmm.
you have definitely lost all.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's
It's
gone.
gone. Ain't nothing. There's nothing you can do to repair that.
That's true.
Nothing.
That's true.
And especially at our age, you can't teach your old dog new tricks. So once that's out there and that person is like that, you can't change.
Might as well just go
Yeah,
and
you-
pack it back.
Yeah, you might as well. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, unless it's cheaper to keep her, that's all I can say. And then if it's that way, one or two things going down.
Uh-huh.
You cheat or she cheat.
That's it. Ain't no other way around.
Ain't no other way around.
All right.
No other way.
Good deal. We got an audience member. One of our audience members want to chime in on that topic. They over there smiling, so they must have something good. Chime in, please.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand. So you said initially you would snap at your friend's girl if she called you a bitch, but what if your girl called him a bitch?
Then I'm snapping on my girl.
So it's the same reaction.
Oh, it's the same reaction.
Okay.
You shutting it down.
I'm shutting it down off the
Either
rip.
way. Okay.
You know, either way.
Either way.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I'm gonna take leniency on my lady for saying it
Yeah.
because
That's
just like you call him a bitch,
Mhm.
it's room enough for you to call me that one day.
Oh.
So I got
wow.
to make sure I hem all that up now. So it just be no bitch tendencies.
Good point. Let me ask you something before we go into the topic. Also, now on that same instance, and the guy just a soft type, he's just a catering type dude to his, woman or whatever. He don't say anything. Well, how you feel about that guy? The guy's just gonna, let his woman defend that situation for,
He a bitch, but he's a bitch behind closed doors when I talk about later.
Exactly.
No, I ain't gonna
Not right there,
I'm not gonna keep kicking the man when he down.
But he probably he gonna let that whole situation go straight to the
But
sky.
at the end of the day, non-backbone, non-ball having man knows he's that way.
He already know.
He know he that way.
Yeah, but your guy who you with, he probably know it too, though.
Yeah.
He probably know who his friend is.
That's what I'm
Probably
saying. You know it. He know it. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why that has went down that way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It just
Okay.
got a man up.
Well, we got a topic for you tonight, world. We kind of touched on it in the past, but I got about a lot of native Europeans, so we're gonna get back into this topic. Dating 2024. How you feel about dating? Since you back out there on the market.
Oh.
How is dating in 2024?
Boy. Man, it is.
You are
It is.
distinguished gentleman right now. We ain't gonna say age, but you distinguished, so
It is.
you've
Man.
been married 26 years, so I know you've been around the block a few times, so you know. Okay, so is it changed?
It has changed, but it's the same. Because it's the same games. It's the same. It's the same. Faking it till you make it.
Wow.
It's the put on. I don't know what the new term that.
I'm sure that millennials,
use
the Gen Z.
But, yeah,
what is the terminology?
I don't. I don't know what's the terminology for like
Putting
faking
on,
it till
yeah,
you make it.
you don't really have it.
Yeah, we say putting on.
Putting
Y'all
on.
still say
Oh, wow, who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Okay. Well, there you go. So yeah, that type in a sense, and it's just, you get the women saying same thing, saying one thing, doing another. They just
Older women, even though they
man.
seem like they know what they want at this day and age. I mean,
They know.
as well.
I know what they want.
Oh, what do they want? What
They want your 401k. They want your pension.
Oh, so it's changed. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, they want your retirement plan.
Really?
Yes.
They don't have their own? What do they
No.
got? Oh, my.
No. That percentile is real low.
Really?
Very low. Even though they might say this, say that.
That's-
no, it's real low.
That's what they look at.
They go-
We talking about quality women. What type of women are we talking about? Are we just talking about older women in general?
No, we're just talking about. I'm talking about really all the women across the board.
Really?
This is the reason why I say that.
Okay.
Because you have your younger generation
Mm-hmm.
that now with social media and things like that, with the OnlyFans and all this stuff, they're making their money. But the thing is, they're making their money, but they don't have a retirement plan. They don't have a 401k. They don't have medical, dental, vision. They
Okay.
don't have this.
So,
So the thing is, they're looking for that to coincide with the money that they're making.
Oh, okay.
But on the same token, they want to say, hey, they can't mess with this guy unless he's up here with her, and her up here is nothing but cash value. Ours
no medical
is
benefits.
ours
Wow.
is cash and asset value.
But you
There's
got
no
to
asset.
have your own house.
There's
And
no
they may not have anything.
There's no, and they might do have a house. They might do have this. I won't even call it asset. I call it a liability
Okay.
because their assets are liabilities to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the day that social media goes away, or if it does, maybe more like it never will.
Yeah.
But let's just
Good
say,
question.
if it does, if social media shut down right now for a month, who would be
Man.
who would be on top?
That's
so simple.
Wow. I gotta ask one of my audience members. Where would the younger generation be without social media? If it's shut down for a month, I don't even think a lot of people can survive.
They'll be lost.
Lost.
Like,
I mean, lost because they depend on it. Like it's like, I mean, if you don't see somebody with their phone in front of their face,
Yeah.
it don't even look right
And-
these days.
And the thing is about that too as well. It goes with men as well. I'm not just gonna put it on the women and say the women would be off this gone.
All your point on this. All your point on this.
But men as well, because you have a lot of men that have these platforms and they're making money.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying the names, but I remember seeing one was saying, hey, he needed to clear $70,000 a month to be in the good.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Now,
This an influencer you talking
yes.
about? Oh wow.
so
Okay.
this is my whole
Wow.
thing. $70,000 a month to be in the good because of this what we have in front of us, right?
That's great.
If you ask any 401 stock owner, and I keep going to that because
Yeah.
if you go to anybody who is on that working level
Uh-huh.
or that business owner, that real business owner,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what would it take for them to be in the good?
Mm.
The only people that's saying $70,000 a month are the Will Smiths, and it's
Yeah.
the people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But besides that, that's ridiculous.
To
You know, at the
just to get by.
Just to get by, like who ever heard of that?
That's
$70
unheard
a
of. That's
month
unheard of.
to get
That's
by.
unheard of.
That's crazy. But like I say,
Mm-mm-mm.
social media has crippled but helped.
It
It has given people opportunities to make income
Yes.
and do what they have to do, provide for their families and things
Absolutely.
like that. But how are you providing for your family in the future?
Hmm.
Because you can't do it forever. You know, it's just
They
like
need to be stacking that money because they making major money.
they making major.
But
But
then,
then,
you know,
you
putting
hear,
some right in the
and
right
you
places.
hear the ones saying, you know, they invest in real estate
Yeah, there you go.
and things like that. You know, but you know, it's that too in itself. You know, real estate now. Just going off subject with that, it takes away so much now because it's so high now. So
really is.
you know, the days of investing in real estate now is not as it's not as good as it was because you couldn't go out and buy the $100,000 house
and try to
flip
flip
it for,
yeah.
you know, because now that $100,000 house is $250,000.
Exactly. You go buy
So basically you got
to
to sell it for $350,000 to make it.
just to make it.
But with the average income at 60, 70,000,
Can't afford it.
who can afford it?
Can't afford it.
So that's why I said you got to look at your assets and liabilities. And like I said, with everything now, with the dating and things like that, women have too many liabilities versus assets. Have too many.
Okay. I feel like dating today is, I mean, it's always gonna be like you said in the beginning. It's gonna be like it used to be. It's nothing really changes the way it is. I do feel like that women, I don't know if all women are looking for that 401k. I think a lot of women got it, especially the older women. There's a lot of older women with some money and some status. And those women, they just want a good man. Once in a while, I feel like they put that on the back burner earlier in their lives, and now they just like, damn, I just want a good man. And maybe they make money want what they want. They plan, of course. I'm not saying they don't want that. But they just want somebody to have as their own.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with this.
Mm-hmm.
What package did that come in?
As far as what do you mean? Like
What package?
white man, black man, or what?
What package did that come in? What eyesight package did that come in?
I mean,
what does that come in? Because
Okay.
those women are out there.
oh yeah, they I mean,
Just like you can tell
they-
a woman, those men are out there.
They are. They
But
choosy. They want a certain type.
Is it in that package?
That's great. They ain't gonna take just anything.
No.
They not. So they do want
Just like
still.
you ain't gonna take
Exactly.
anything.
Not gonna take anything. So
You know what
why
I mean?
beggars gotta be? If they're beggars, why you gotta be so choosy? Because I mean, still, if a woman is that status, she feel like, okay, I can go have my fun all I want though, but I'm still not gonna just take no anybody, especially take them in and make them on and marry them. Nobody gonna take anything. Just like you ain't gonna just take anything. You're gonna be very, specific in what you want. You're gonna be like, I'm finding this woman. You're gonna go A to Z pretty much from what you want. I know that. I mean, am I lying? You've been married, so now you kind of know exactly what you want, right?
I know what I want, but like I said, is what I want gonna be in the package I want?
Yeah, tell me about that package then. Your package.
I said,
what's your package?
I'm saying, I used to tell one of my high school homeboys all the time because he's still a bachelor, and I'm like, man, what take you so long to settle down? Like
Never been married.
Never been married. I'm saying, he's had maybe a couple of lengthy relationships.
Okay.
No, ain't no never engagements.
No engagement.
No,
Oh,
but
wow.
he had a couple of lengthy relationships.
Okay.
But his whole thing is, he said he wasn't settling down with nothing but a dime.
Oh, wow.
And my thing to him was, I told him, I said, you will never be happy with a dime. He was like, man, why would I be happy? This and that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, check this out. Go to any these days. Go to any lounge. No, I'm going to say like these days. Go to any rooftop party.
Okay.
Anything like that, right? And you see one of the finest women in the world with a guy. That guy don't look happy.
Really? Dang.
He might be putting on. He might be
He's not happy with the team. He got exactly the best looking woman in the world.
He's sitting on the top of the couch. They don't sit in couches. He's sitting on the top of the couch. He got him between his legs. He popping bottle, throwing everything.
Not happy.
Watch when they walk off.
Oh my.
She either walking behind him, like 3 or 4
But
steps
not hand
back.
in hand.
No, it's not happy. Because he ain't happy. Because you know why he ain't happy?
Why not?
Because he in competition. Constant competition with his lady. trying to figure out, hey, you know, who the flies? Who looking
Wait a minute, so
who
you
looking at me?
That's
really?
Who looking at me?
Oh my God! Wow. Okay. Dang.
That's what they trying to figure out.
So you telling me this why you think your buddy?
Time they hop in the car. They hop in that. When they hop in that Maybach, they hop in that mud. What they do? They leaning away from each other.
Oh my!
And they
God.
phone.
That's sad. Oh wow, man, that's terrible. Wow. Okay.
Tell me, you can look. You see it every time you go out. Every time.
So you saying
You want to know? You want to know the happy couple you see?
What's that?
And it's sad to say, y'all can get mad at me all y'all want to. The happy couple you see, one of them look good and one of them don't, and they loving each other.
Well, wait a minute. So how does that work then? If you
Because the person that is attractive, that has the unattractive person,
yes.
that unattractive person shows them just how attractive they are.
Ah. So you telling me 2 10s can't be together?
Hell no.
Oh damn. Why JC and Beyonce together? Oh my God.
Shit.
I knew it was some reason, but really?
What?
So okay, tell me about your buddy.
10
Then. So
times
he
10.
must be this guy that can get any woman he want then.
No. No, I'm talking about I be looking straight across like, hey, y'all, you got them homeboys and them homegirls. You be like, yeah, do that mirror work in your
But so
bathroom?
he ain't gonna take nothing less. So he gonna be one of them guys that go get this 10 eventually and be happy. I get, but it ain't time hasn't proven that.
He ain't gonna be happy. That's what I'm saying. Time improving. And then once again, that 10 has maintenance. It's maintenance costing that. It nowhere around.
You can't be no broke Joe. You can't be no broke Joe.
You can't. And then, like I said, even if you're not broke, if you have money, you're still not happy. You're happy with what the world thinks, but you're not happy.
Wow.
You're not doing it. This is another thing too. Now I know all y'all out there got king size beds. I know all y'all got king size beds. Ask yourself, why do you have a king size bed? Why do you have a king? Why do you have
You really don't need nothing but a full queen max.
Okay, but I'm asking you.
I know why.
Why?
You can have your side, and I can have my side.
There
It's
you
terrible.
go.
You don't force you to be close encounter.
Exactly.
That's so terrible, but it's so true.
Exactly.
You like got 3 twin beds all over when you think about it.
It's something about you laying skin to skin, body to body. And I don't even have kids, but why when the mother has a kid or after that kid is born,
They put that baby
they
right
put
there.
that baby right on her chest or on his chest to have that bond.
Space. Oh,
To
that
have
bond.
that
I thought you were
bond.
going to space.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, yeah.
That
That
bond.
bond. Yeah, that's true.
It's a difference, man, when you rubbing some feet in the bed. It's a difference when you can roll over and rub that person on the arm.
You say that ain't happening in a lot of relationships.
Nah, cause you got that big ass king bed. You gotta look at it. Y'all gotta have 2 damn speakers on each side, 2 mics to talk and say, hey, you want this?
That is something. That's
Like, come
something.
on,
Wow.
that's
So
what you gotta do.
that
That's
is-
why, me personally, I always said that I'll never have a king bed. The biggest bed I have is a queen. The queen, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Because one thing about it, my queen gonna be right beside me.
Oh, okay. I like it.
I'm saying,
Great
man.
point. That's a great point.
I'm saying everybody want these big beds. They want to go in there.
To keep
Oh,
the
look
space
at my big bed.
Yep.
And da da da
Keep
da.
that damn
I got
space.
all this space where I can roll around and not touch nobody. Why
Touch
would
them.
you want to touch the person that you're in love with?
Wow.
The rest of your
Why
life?
is that, world? Chime in, please. Please don't forget to subscribe, man, to the 3 Underrated Influencers. We've been lit today with our first guest. I mean, I love it. A guest host, Brian Stevens. I want to hear from our audience too, though. We got a ZX. I get these millennial lot of bullshit mixed up, but I want to hear about the dating in the young generation today, because I know we've been talking about how it is, and how I think it's totally different. I'm gonna touch on it a little bit in my perspective first, because I'm around youngsters these days, young children, and they from teens to their 20s and stuff, and they and some of them are dating, but it's tough on them to date. A lot of them aren't dating; they don't know how to date. I mean, and like I said, I really didn't want to go there either, but you got choices now. I think they got choices. You can be pretty much what you want to be. We didn't have choices then back in the days when we didn't have those type of choices. It was like, you this, that, you had to have this. But now you can be whatever you want to be and you can have whatever you want. But with them doing that, hard. It's hard dating for them. I don't even think a lot of them date now. I mean, I think they kind of like drifting farther apart. I think social distancing has got us from not dating. I mean, I could be wrong. Give me your perspective, please.
Dating in Gen Z is a hot mess. A lot of people in our generation don't even date. They consider themselves friends with benefits or just F buddies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they only do stuff for the pleasure. They're not doing stuff like romantically.
At all. So that doesn't even exist. Going out on just a normal date.
If you find the right person.
Oh, but it's not. It's rare though.
It's really it's not common.
Okay. Wow. How about you, sir? How's your dating life?
I don't date.
That's a prime example. I was like, I don't think they date.
I don't date.
I see my daughter. She's 22 now too, and I'm like, well, I rarely she go out and have fun, but dating is like, I don't think I ever have a good child. I'm like, in this day and age, it's tough though. I just want to get a perspective.
I feel like when you know your worth,
yes.
As soon as a guy does something, it's gonna turn you off to the point where you're not gonna want to talk to them.
Wow.
So I'm not gonna stay there and try to fix you. You gotta fix yourself.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I agree with that now. And so you don't think you've lost out on some guys because of that? It doesn't even matter, really.
No.
Okay. Good deal. I love it. That's good stuff.
Well, for one, with y'all generation, if you date a guy and sometimes he got a hoodie on, you need to leave him alone because he already crazy. Who wears a hoodie in 100-degree weather?
Also that, and if he got his pants down with his belt right here.
Something
it's tough.
Something is not right in the head.
It's
so
tough.
why would you even date that?
It's tough.
It's just not right.
It's tough.
It's
tough.
Just don't get it.
And then they don't make enough money too. They like, if you don't make certain amount of money, these.
Well, you can't tell them nothing. On social media, they got money. They flashing whoever money. I don't know what money
Wow.
it is.
Yeah.
But on social media, they got money.
it.
But when they go out, they ride with the homeboy. All of them maybe done chipped in to buy a scat pack or something. They doing their thing. But for the most part, they not doing that. Like you say, it just this dating is like I say. And then you find a lot of the younger women when they get tired of their age bracket, then they move to ours or right below ours or something.
Well, would you think how young would you go? It's dating as far as you.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not as high. I don't know that.
No, you're low.
No, I say how low.
No, how low?
Might be the grade.
I want to know high and low. Give me the high and low.
I would say the lowest I'm going, I would go 6 years lower, 6 years higher.
And why is that?
Because after that 6 years, you don't have anything in common, nothing to relate to.
Okay.
You don't. I can't talk to. Prime example. I was at work or whatever, and I called this younger guy, Bruce Leroy.
You didn't know what you were talking about.
He was lost.
You know what you're talking about.
Bruce Leroy.
You didn't know what you I already know. I wanted to probably
That's what I'm saying. Which the thing is, I don't blame them for not knowing.
No.
But the thing is, someone I'm dating,
They need to know.
they need to know. Because
They
we don't have anything to bond. We can't talk about the old Hollywood squares. You can't talk about the old Family Feud.
They don't know Richard Dawson.
Yeah, we can't talk about
who is that?
Yeah, we can't talk about that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's just like, okay, so what are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about empire?
I gotta ask one more question to see. How old of a man would you date? Because how old are you if you don't mind us asking?
I'm 18.
18, okay.
So
That's
I
a
would
tricky
say
age to ask her that though.
I know, yeah, it is kind of, because she's just fresh out of high school, so you just like.
I would say I would go up to probably 4 years. So like
4 years,
21.
okay, that's fair.
I think she'll go higher.
Oh, because she may not want nobody to know. She's like, who listening to this?
She would go. She 18.
How far you think?
She would go to 25.
Mm-hmm.
She don't think she would. She'll go to 25.
So, okay, at 25, would you have dated an 18-year-old?
That's a good question. Because I'm trying to think. Now this might sound funny. Ain't none of this. Ain't none of this pedophile shit that going on or anything like that. But are we talking an 18 graduate from high school? Or are we talking about that person who turned 18 and they still in high school?
Oh, not in high school. No, not in high school.
With that being
Graduated,
said,
yeah.
with that being said, I have always told myself, for one, as an adult over 21,
Okay.
I'll never date a high school
Okay.
student.
I got you. Okay.
But we know in our day and age, it was plenty of old ass niggas coming.
Oh
pick up
man,
girls in high
so
school.
many. So
Plenty of
many.
them.
So
But no,
many.
that ain't me.
Okay.
Not me at all.
Good.
Now that person is, because this is why I say that, because if I were to go to college, 25 might be high, but if I were to go to college and I was a senior in college, I say I was a 5th year senior in college,
Oh.
and she came to the college at 18. I'm
Open
not
season.
allowed.
It's
I'm
open
not
season.
allowed to date her.
You should, absolutely. That's open season.
That's what I'm saying.
open season.
We're on the same. We're
Yeah.
still we're on the same level.
There's nothing
We're
wrong. I don't
still
see anything wrong with that.
25 and 18 still have the relatable topics
Absolutely.
and things like that.
Yeah.
The only thing with that 25, and honestly, a 25-year-old is at that point when they're still a young adult and they're becoming an adult.
Absolutely. They don't know, especially for men, we mature a lot, less
Than
than
women.
women. So
that's the thing, because
y'all probably just getting on it when she probably not there yet, but y'all just about to be on equal playing
So that's
field.
what I'm saying. It's still relatable with that. So that's why I say she might talk to a 25-year-old and might not know off the rip.
Yeah.
She might be talking to him, and then when she does find out his age,
Too late. You might like him then.
That's kind of too old. Yeah. And
What
now
would you do?
might like
What would you do if you like him?
Yeah, if you like him,
like,
what, you gonna break it off?
I got to bring this 25-year-old home. Would you?
No.
Would you? That could continue dating?
Well, if she has a preference, she gonna already know he's 25 before you even get to that point of trying to bring him home.
No, I got you. What if he lying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just trying to get her.
Yeah, what if he said he's 21?
Yeah, and then he ended up being 25.
Mm-hmm.
And you like him, though.
What you gonna do then? You ain't finna break it off.
No, if you lie about your age, why you lying about simple stuff?
You
So
done.
that's
Okay.
a turn off.
Okay.
'Cause
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I have a rude awakening for you. You're gonna be turned off a lot.
And once they find out you're so young, they're gonna be like, they gonna know not to say,
You're gonna be turned off a lot. If you talking about lying on the little stuff, you realize how many little stuff that we lie about as a male, female, as
over
a
nothing.
species.
Yeah, over nothing.
nothing.
Over nothing.
We
So,
lie over nothing.
you have to be
That
careful
just
about that.
happens.
It happens.
You know?
I feel like lying to make yourself like look presentable is different than just lying about your age. It's no reason to lie about your
Wow.
age.
There's no reason. Bro.
Everybody
People lie
lies to
so
be
much.
presentable. It's gonna happen.
It happened to
You
me.
know?
I met a
people gonna
girl
lie.
when I was what 122. She was 6. She was not even 16. I think she was 14, but she told me she was 18. And I found out. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "That was it devastated me because I was like, dang." But I mean, it happens though, because you're not gonna know. You're not gonna ask those questions. I didn't ask. I mean, maybe I should have, but I was like, and maybe I should have known better. But I was like, it disturbed me though, and I was like, I'll be asking from now on. But
Age thing, everybody learn about age. That's the number one thing people lie about is their age. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. So you can't get around that. So it's just
well, world, it's been a great day. We're so honored to have Straight BS here with us. I can look for him on future endeavors, which I know he's gonna partake in, trying to get his own shop and trying to get him to get his own shop. I just want to produce it. I mean, I'm ready for him. I mean, I know he's ready. I think he's really ready to go ahead and get it done now. So we talked about it a few months ago when we first initially brought it up, but I think it'll be enlightening to the world. I mean, I think he has something to offer that we all, enjoy. If you like that, and just, hey, tell them, come on with Straight BS. Straight BS coming to you soon. I want to touch on what Straight BS is, but we're kind of out of time, though. We ain't going to touch on it today, but hopefully he can come back again, guest host with us again, and we can do it again. Coming straight, direct, the 3 underrated influencers. My co-host, Brian Stevenson, Straight BS, baby. We'll see you when you see you.